It's football season, and Ramy Richlands is here to crush the competition. Our unbeatable lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs will leave you feeling like a champion every time you hit the road. Whether you're driving through rugged terrain or cruising down the city streets, Ramy Richlands has the perfect ride to tackle any challenge. Ramy Richlands is the game changer you need to take your driving experience to the next level. It's your deal, your way. Visit one of our dealerships today or shop online at RamyRichlands.com.
Hello folks, welcome to After the Whistle. This is episode 7.5. I'm your host Brian Moore along with Tom Krieger. Region D, it's time to get your football fix. Let's go straight to the scoreboard from this past week. We also have a couple games that's already been played this week. We'll cover them at the end. Straight to the scoreboard, Virginia High 45-7 against Tazewell. The Bearcats just literally wear out Tazewell. In this game, Keyshawn Smith had 214 yards receiving, 72 rushing yards. Bearcats snapped a 3-game losing streak, and that's one of our dark horses.
It is, but did Creasy play? He's been banged up for a couple of weeks. He got hurt against Princeton and been playing through some injuries, not giving no excuses. Virginia High done a great job. Putting up points, but to hold Tazewell to 7 points is pretty good.
Pretty impressive. Next, we got Thomas Walker, 39, Hurley, 30.
I went to that game. It was a great game. I think it was 22-22 at halftime.
Well, that's pretty good. Thomas Walker, I think that's their 4th win of the season. So,
yeah.
And Hurley hanging with them.
Hurley played well. There's a lot of big plays for both teams, and it was a great game to watch.
All right, here's a big shocker. Well, not a shocker, but a game that kind of didn't turn out the way people thought. Union 31, Ridgeview 7. Union all over them. The question after that ball game was what the heck was going on with Ridgeview at the end of that game.
Round and pound, yeah. Baby.
You have to. I'm not saying I watched probably 2.5 quarters, almost 3 quarters this game, and it seemed early on that Ridgeview just couldn't get a lot of drop balls, wasn't able to get things going.
Yeah, they had a couple of drop balls early, but when you don't have the ball, it's hard to get you out of the rhythm.
Yeah. And Union did that. They grounded it out.
Like I said, your best defense is what they always say.
Offense
is a good offense,
and it will. And we'll come back to that in a minute. You'll tell everybody about that. Congratulations to the Mustard Biscuit Brigade. Castlewood Blue Devils 20, Twin Springs 6. The Brigade gets their W against an albeit an injury-riddled Twin Springs team. But we got to give a shout out to Castlewood for playing a heck of a game. Gabe Jones had 127 yards rushing. Castlewood snapped a 10-game losing streak, and it also is the first win for head coach Sean Chisholm, so we congratulate him as well, and of course the athletic director over there.
Oh, P. Wade. Patrick Wade.
All right, Lebanon 39, Retreat 20.
That was a good game there for a little bit. They said.
Yeah, Retreat hung right with them there. I kept up with the score. I was watching.
But again, when you can throw the football, when you have a quarterback that can throw the football like Reese.
Yeah, Reese had 4 touchdown passes.
It keeps you.
But got to give hats off to Rural Retreat because they were game for most of it, and Lebanon pulled away there at the end. And that was the difference in the offense, like you're talking about. Lane Jesse had 136 yards rushing as well for the Pioneers, who are now 7-0 and going into one of the biggest games that they've had at Lebanon in maybe decades. It's been a while.
Who's coming to town?
The G-Men. That would be a pretty good one. 7-0 Lebanon and 6-0 Graham, Southwest District square off there. All right, up next, Rye Cove 40, East Side 8. Game was a lot closer than this score indicates, especially for a long period of time. But in the end, Eastside was able to pull, Rycove able to pull aside by dominating the line of scrimmage. Next, Abingdon 48, Marion 0. Marion is still in the winless column. Holston, this was probably one of the better games this week. Holston 26, Patrick Henry 21. Hayden Sinclair rushed for 103 yards, scored the game-winning touchdown with about a minute and a half left. And the Cavaliers beat their Washington County arch rival there. Earlier in the year, probably wouldn't have picked this game. I also think, and I'm not making excuses for him, Patrick Henry's had quite a few injuries going back probably to week 2. Holston with a big win there. Lehigh 51, J.I. Burton 0. George Wythe 42, Giles 24. And Wise Central 28, John Battle 6. And John Battle remains winless as well. All right, that'll take care of our scores from this past week. And we had a couple games that was played that were scheduled to
Had a
be
big
played
Monday
this
night
week.
football game.
And Monday night football, we're going to go straight to it. Twin Valley 20, Bland County 8. Your bunch gets in the win column.
Oh, it was big. There's games you look forward to playing. Teams that's, like you said, in your tier of competition. And we kids showed up, and the biggest thing was in the second half, when we come out of the second half, we were up 14-0. We come out in the second half, they kicked to us. We took 11 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock in the third quarter.
Pretty good.
Bland had the ball 2 times in the second half, and doing stuff like that, you can win a lot of ball games. But proud of my guys. That was the third game in a week that we played.
Crazy.
But it is what it is, and you got to play them.
Well, not too many people get to say they played on Monday night, so you got to have a Monday night football game.
Yeah, it was good, and hats off to Bland. They're, like I said, they're in the same boat as a couple teams like us and other teams in this area, and hats off to Coach Hart, because a lot of people, couldn't do some of the stuff that we do and have to deal with every day at practice.
I agree. I know a lot of people.
You've been there, you've
they
seen
want to
it.
coach. Everybody wants to coach winter. Naturally, but very few people would coach football if they had to deal with some of the things that these 1A coaches have to deal with on a week. It's a daily basis. You never know what's going to happen.
You don't know if you're going to have 9 at practice, 15, 22, 13. It's just
you get one kid go out, and you got to move this kid to guard, and this kid to tight end, and this kid.
And I think that happened to Bland. They had a guy I don't think played, and they had to move this kid to here, that kid to there, and
chess piece.
That's right. It's just been there, done that. Yeah. But congratulations to my buddy Twin Valley, and they played very hard. And a shout out to Isaac Maines, had a heck of a ball game.
All right. In addition to that, we had a game on Tuesday night. It involved a team that's also had problems in the past with low numbers. They've got their numbers up a little bit, and that's Thomas Walker. They defeated Unaka 40-24 on Tuesday night.
But that game was 40-0 at halftime, and Coach, from Thomas Walker, pulled his starters there, and should have. It's class. Should have class. That's class act, and they're coming to the Knob.
Oh, they are.
Friday
night.
Yeah.
All right, folks. With that, that's our scoreboard. We'll wrap it up. When we say fresh is not a gimmick. That's right. Every single day, Bellacino's at all their locations, they bake their bread fresh from scratch every single day at all their locations. All their pizzas, their salads, their grinders, everything is made to order. Bellacino's has been using the same recipe, Grandpa Sam's recipe, since 1959. If you haven't stopped by Bellacino's, stop by and check it out, because I think you're going to like the food. And at all importance, stop by the one in Grundy, by the way. This location has served Buchanan County well. It'll serve your team well if you come this way for for a ball game or what have you.
And right here, shout out, we got a note from Holston High School basically telling me something that I've never heard in a long, long time. The note says, from Holston High School, tell Tom Krieger he was right. It's the best food in Buchanan County. I told you guys, I don't lie too much, but appreciate the shout out. We appreciate Holston. Coach Tester fed Holston. They was going through the flood. They didn't have power, didn't have food. They still came over to play a football game, and Coach Tester and Amy, his wife, was really generous, and they fed Holston, and they really appreciated it, and they said it was the best food in Buchanan County. Hoagies and grinders, Navy beans.
All right, folks, once again, Bellacino's, great food, great service, great time. Stop by and check them out, Grundy, Virginia. Speaking of Bellacino's, it's time for Bellacino's Player of the Week. Each week, one of the Buchanan County football teams has a player selected as the Bellacino's Player of the Week. This week's Bellacino's Player of the Week is from Twin Valley High School, Mr. Isaac Maines. I congratulate Isaac on being our Bellacino's Player of the Week.
That's well deserved. Lyman blocked hard. He hit the hose, and he carried the ball 28 times for 165 yards. Congratulations, Isaac.
Ground and pound, baby.
Ground and pound, baby.
Love it. All right. Well, folks, before we get into our peak performers of the week, we received a little package this week, and I want to share this with you from a gentleman by the name of Rob Rice. And for those of you who don't know who Rob is, Rob sends, he actually does a lot of work like this. I'll put a couple of these up here. These are miniature helmets. Rob sent us here, and we have a Grundy one, a Twin Valley one, a Hurley one, and he has a mock-up for the potentially new one at Southern Gap High School. He made that for us here and asked us to give this one to Coach Tester, who was recently selected to be the new head football coach at Southern Gap High School. And for those of you that might be interested, it'd be a great Christmas present. Rob does these, and you can find him online. He lives in Bluefield. He's on Facebook. It's Rob Rice. But if you're interested in emailing him, finding out a little bit more about these little miniature helmets for Christmas tree ornaments and so forth, you can message him at robrice70@gmail.com. That's robrice70@gmail.com, and he'll hook you up with one of these really nice ornaments for Christmas. Be great stocking stuffer for your family member, loved one, or if you've got a kid that's playing ball, excellent gift. So
and he probably could put a number on there for you.
He could probably do a little bit of anything.
Tell him ATW sent you.
That's right, ATW. Once again, that's robrice70@gmail.com, and if you forget it, just shoot one of us a message, and we'll get that info to you. I'll also put it on the screen so you can see it. All right. Now we're talking about our peak performers of the week throughout Region D. From Lebanon High School, we've got quarterback Mike Reese, 11 of 20, 111 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and of course Lebanon now improves to 7-0. From Castlewood, the Blue Devils, the Mustard Biscuit Brigade, Gabe Jones, 20 carries, 127 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns, and Castlewood snaps that 10-game losing streak. Next, from George Wythe High School, we have running back Trey Rainey. He had 31 carries, 243 yards rushing, and 4 touchdowns. And this kid in 7 games is already over the 1,000-yard rushing mark. So Trey Rainey from George Wythe. Our fourth peak performer of the week is quarterback Brennan Pendergraft from Lee High School, 14 of 16, 329 yards passing, 5 touchdowns in their win at Lee High. And then our fifth player, peak performer of the week, is running back Keith Chandler from Union High School at 36 carries, 206 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, a 29-yard field goal, 2 interceptions, and 10 tackles on defense. This week's peak performer of the week from after the whistle is Keith Chandler from Union High School. doing it.
He did it all, didn't
all
he?
aspects of the game. Harking back, it reminds me of Tommy Krieger back in the day.
I didn't play defense.
That's what Coach Compton says too. All right, congratulations to Keith Chandler, our peak performer of the week.
They threw me in there one time at safety, told me, he just grabbed me, told me get in there. And I said, what I do? He said, just get out there and stand, go to safety. And I was out there pretty excited, started looking around. I'm ready to go, couldn't find the ball. It coming right at me, right up the middle. But Bronny, our linebacker, got him.
I said the other coach who saw you go in the game knew exactly where to run the ball, didn't All right, from the moment you step inside the showroom, Ramy Chevrolet is ready to put you behind the wheel of the right, not the wrong one, the right, new or pre-owned vehicle. But it doesn't end there, folks. Nope. Not only does Ramy offer a wide variety of new and pre-owned vehicles, they also offer a wide range of extended services. Whether it be the Ramy's Service and Repair Center or the Certified Parts Department, Ramy's Richlands aims to please. Stop by and see the folks at Ramy's Richlands and do the deal today. Ramy's Richlands. If you do, tell them that ATW sent you by. All right, let's get into our talking smack. We've got a couple little things here, little topics we'll hit. And I had to hear your take on this one. The first one, over this past week, a national record was established in high school football. A kid threw for 817 yards and 8 touchdowns, eight touchdown passes, 2 rushing touchdowns, and he lost. That's right. And he lost. An amazing night for Peyton Houston of Evangel Christian Academy. This is down in Shreveport, Louisiana. Completed 53 of 68 passes. Talking about committed to the spread.
You think they run a lot of plays that night?
But they lost 77-76 to Captain Shreve last night. And the previous record was 787 passing yards. What would you think if you had 800-some passing yards and lost? You know what we would call that? 817 passing. I know what you would call it. That'd been a good season.
A season, that's right.
Been a good season. That's the game we're playing today.
That's right. That's football. This day and time, football's changed, and there it is.
And if you wonder if defense exists, they do not play it in Louisiana. Next, let's talk a little bit about this one. Not this one. Everybody's kind of buzzing about. Phil Robbins Field will be dedicated, I think, this coming week. But we like to play around with some things here. So the question is, what would be a good nickname?
For the field,
yeah.
I like filling station.
Philli, the
Filling station.
filling station.
Filling station. Filling station.
Filling.
Filling.
How about the Robin's Nest? Oh, you like it? I mean, it's okay, I guess. I like Robin's Field, Phield. Kind of like that one a little bit. And then we could always go with Grumpy Old Man Stadium, but we won't do that out of respect for Coach Robbins. I like Filling Station pretty good. That's a good one.
Filling station's a good one.
Filling Station. Down at the Filling Station.
Down at Bullitt Park at Filling Station Field.
I like it. I like it. All right. Congratulations, Coach Robbins, by the way, on having this field dedicated and named after him. Huge honor. The biggest surprise so far this season, we've got 2 or 3 we want to mention here, and these can be positive surprises or negative surprises. So we're going to start out with our positive surprises. I think you and I both agreed with this. Virginia High has been a positive surprise. Their record right now, they went on a 3-game losing streak. They snapped it the other day, but Virginia High is not a bad football team.
No.
They play Graham really tight. So they're one of the positive surprises. And another neat thing is, I believe they're going to be even better next year. Positive surprise. Another big positive surprise in Region D has been the Eastside Spartans. We also picked them to be a
dark horse.
And
I think they're a year away. I think next year where they have everybody back. I mean, not saying they can't go to the region finals this year, but they returned a lot of people next year, and they might be a year away, but they're still, you don't want to play them in the playoffs.
And the 40-8 score against Rye Cove isn't indicative of how close the game was for a long time. It's one of them things where you keep holding them off, and finally the dam breaks, and that's what happened. But if they can put together 4
But
solid
I coach
quarters.
count on you
Yeah.
for
Well, that's
4
what they do
quarters.
to you.
They wear
That's
you
exactly
down,
what
and
they
then
do to you.
them runs start going for 5 to 10
Yes.
to 20 yards.
And you got to give them credit for that.
That's right.
They stuck to the game plan despite the fact that Eastside was hanging in there with them. So Eastside's a big surprise, and probably one of the biggest surprises in Southwest Virginia so far this year is the 7-0 Lebanon Pioneers.
We knew they were going to be pretty good with Reese at
Yeah.
quarterback.
And
But
you
then,
mentioned Boyd.
then they got Caden Boyd to come out. He's a receiver. They got
Jesse.
Jesse came from Honaker over, great running back. So when you add a Caden Boyd, Lane Jesse, what was it?
You can't stack the box.
No,
You can't
that's
defend
right.
If you're going to
And
spread,
give credit to Hunter.
yeah, he's done a heck of a
I
job.
mean, it was a heck of a job so far. I mean, he's got the talent there, and he is excelling with it.
Yep.
And it takes that too. It takes a good coach to get it all them
Yep.
egos into one, and he's done a heck of a job. But I mean, got a lot of weapons. I know I'm leaving some people out that was there at Lebanon last year, but the ones that stick out to me is a Caden Boyd.
Yeah.
Hadn't played football in a while, and he's out there just nagging passes down like he's played the whole time. And then you got the Jesse boy that's played. I mean, I'm just glad he's running better than his daddy. That's all I know. I was like, he's a lot better than his daddy was.
All right. And so those are positive surprises. Now we got some negative surprises, but it's not negative in necessarily the performance. It's negative because of certain circumstances. One of my biggest negatives is Tazewell. And it's not that Tazewell hasn't been playing well, because Creasy's been doing a heck of a job. Tazewell's been playing well, but graduation and injuries have
Hurt him pretty good,
Yeah, they've
especially defensively.
Yeah, it had a more of an impact on Tazewell than most people would have expected, and it's sad to see that happen, because you get all these expectations, then one bad injury here, you get a major player out, and some of the players they lost to graduation were darn good players. And I don't think people took into consideration just how good they were. You don't just replace them like that, really that easy. And next one would be the Patrick Henry Rebels.
But injury bug got them too.
It's injuries. Injuries has got them. They were playing really well, and then the injuries come along, and that's what happens.
I mean, it's part of the game and everything. Not making excuses. It's just if they got their full team, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, but
they're healthy.
you have,
Yeah.
but nothing is than this next one. Gosh,
This next one probably the biggest negative surprise.
Not meaning negative, bad.
Yeah.
Just can't believe.
Yeah. And that's Galax. Win state championship, and then having such a subpar season. Not sure what all they lost due to graduation. Not sure how much of this is attributed to injuries, but Galax struggling this year, and usually they have just so many athletes
top
that
notch, that's
overwhelm you with athletes. But
I know we went down there a couple years ago, well, about 6-7 years ago, when they wanted to take 12 teams to the playoffs. Yeah, we was the 12th one and got to play Galax, but we held what's his name under 100 yards. Yeah,
First quarter.
He had 3 carries for 99, and they took him out, and 3 touchdowns.
Well, there you go. All right, well, that's our Talking Smack segment. Let's go straight now into our...
Well, we got breaking news here. I
Okay.
just seen on my phone. We got breaking news. The Dallas Cowboys have just signed Al Bundy. Breaking news. Dallas Cowboys have just signed Al Bundy.
Well, he was a good ball player.
That's what he said.
Polk
If
High
you don't
School,
know,
wasn't
ask him, Polk.
Polk
Yeah.
High School, yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations, Cowboys.
All right. Now, time for our After the Whistle Top 5 rankings. I'll take care of the 1A, or 2A, and Coach will take care of the 1A. And we'll start with our number 5 in 1A. Coach Krieger, I'll let you take over.
All right, number 5, Chihai Warriors bumping in there at 5.
There's 3 or 4 teams we could have threw in here, but Chilhowee seems to have a little bit of mo, I guess, going, so we kind of...
A little bit. But here pretty soon,
They can play in Honaker.
guys, here's the thing. When Honaker got them.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah. But here's the thing, and I'm calling it right now. The Grundy Golden Wave in these next 4 or 5 games, they will squeak their way into the top 3. That's just my feeling and if the season goes the way it should go.
Well, Logan Lester's enough of an impact player to
And Trey Taylor.
Trey Taylor's going to say. Now everybody's got their eyes on Logan Lester, and all of a sudden you're hearing
That's
Trey
right.
Taylor.
So you give it a couple weeks, and the mighty Golden Wave will be up there. But number 4, we got Royal Retreat still in there. Tough schedule right now, but
they've shown they can play.
They've shown they can play with any team there. Then at the top 2, got East Side. They played this week, and 3. We've got Holston Cavaliers. Some big wins with them coming through, beating Patrick Henry. Number 2, East Side, and number 1, Rye Cove, which we had Rye Cove and East Side at 1 and 2 most of the year, and we'll see what happens when the region comes.
All right, let's take a look at 2A here in Region D. Our number 5 team coming in is Ridgeview. Wolfpack struggled last week, but they're still in the top 5. They still have the highest rated passing game in Southwest Virginia. Virginia High coming in at number 4. I think they're playing 500 football right now, but they're a much better football team, and see what they do here moving forward. Number 3, the Lebanon Pioneers sliding into that spot. It's the first time we've seen Lebanon in any of these rankings for a while.
Long time.
And number 2, the Union Bears moving up due to their win against Ridgeview, and their convincing win against Ridgeview. And still at number 1 in Region D, the team to beat, the Graham G-Men.
And 3, 4, and 5 right there could easily be Ridgeview, Lebanon, Virginia High, Lebanon, Ridgeview. Those 3 right there would be a good game.
All right, now let's go straight to our Super 7. Here in Region D, we'll start out with our Super 7, and we'll let Coach Krieger start with our number 7.
Number 7, Super 7, Eastside Spartans.
Number 6, we got the Virginia High Bearcats.
Number 5, Rye Cove War Eagles.
Number 4, the Lebanon Pioneers. Opportunity to move up this week.
Number 3, the Wine and Cheesers. Abington Falcons.
All right, number 2, the Union Bears.
And number 1, and number 1 in everybody's heart, the Graham G.
All right, Graham G-Men. All right, folks. Well, it's time once again to stump the Crig. Each week at this time, we attempt to stump the Crig, and what does that mean? It means that we actually have an envelope that Coach Krieger tells us the answer to the question before we read the question. He's just that good. This envelope has been hermetically sealed and placed in a bank vault for the last 2 weeks. That's right, I went hunting for a week, so we didn't come in here. It's been there for 2 weeks under the watchful eye of armed security. It was delivered here to Bellacino's in an armored truck. A gentleman wearing a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist. That gentleman is standing right outside the door here today. I have not seen the contents of this envelope, have you?
I have not.
Are you prepared to answer the question before, or tell me the answer to the question before I read it?
I know it.
All right,
Ready.
what is the answer to the question in the envelope?
It is supplies.
Say it again.
Supplies.
Supplies. Okay, that seems pretty simple. Supplies. Let's take a look at the envelope. What did the janitor with a speech impediment say when he jumped out of the closet?
Supplies.
The janitor with a speech impediment. Supplies. That's a pretty good one. Do you know a janitor with a speech impediment?
I do. A couple of them.
Evidently. Supplies. I kind of like that. That's a good one. All right, we failed on the first one, but I have in my hand the second envelope. I have not seen the contents of this envelope. Have you?
I have not.
All right, give me the answer to this question or statement.
Instagram.
Instagram. I've got an Instagram account. You have one?
I got one.
Instagram.
But that ain't what I mean.
Oh, it's not. Oh, let's take a look at Instagram. When you put your grandma on speed dial, what do you call it? Instagram. That's a pretty good one.
That's right.
Pretty good. Put grandma on speed dial. All right, folks. Once again, we have failed to stump the Crig. Maybe next time. But with that being said, let's move on to our pigskin prognostications. All right, we got some games this week. We got a few games. We're going to give you the spread. We'll pick the games, but we will also let Krieger tell you if they'll cover or not. All right. First up, game of the week, hands down. Graham 6-0 at Lebanon 7-0. Right now, we got Lebanon plus 23.5. First of all, who's going to win?
I mean, there's zero disrespect to the Lebanon Pioneers are having a great season, but the Graham G-Men.
Okay, I'm going to go with G-Men as well. I think they win this one. But if Lebanon can come out and get on, maybe get some momentum, maybe get Graham in the hole there, maybe, but I just don't see it happening. All right, so what about
They cover.
They cover?
Yes.
All right, I think so too.
Graham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
That Graham covers?
Yes.
I tell you what, just to be different, I'm going to say they don't.
No. Hey, that's just. I'm saying 45-7.
Okay. I'm going 38-23. 38-23. All right, we'll find out. All right, next we've got 5-1 Holston at Northwood. This is a Thursday night game, and Northwood is 3-3. Hats off Northwood, first of all, for being 3-3. Okay, being in this position. Who you got?
Holston.
I've got Holston as well. I think it's they're one of the continuously improving teams in region, and they're going to be one of those teams in the playoffs hunt. Central 2-4 at Union 5-2. I'll go ahead and pick this one first. I got Union all over them in this one. I think this one, I hate to say it, but I think this one will probably be decided by halftime. Next up, we got John Battle 0-6 at Ridgeview, who is 6-1. Ridgeview seeking some revenge after last week.
Ridgeview.
Yeah, I think
big.
I think Ridgeview's going to win big in this one and bounce back. This is a compelling game. Gate City 3-3 at Lehigh 3-3. I'm going to give Gate City the edge, but the fact that this one is at Lehigh and Pendergraft slings that ball so well and it's coming off a big game does make me think that Lehigh could win this, but I'm going with Blue Devils.
I'm going with Gate City.
All right, same here. Richlands 0-6 at Virginia High 3-3, and our numbers are Virginia High minus 49.5. So first of all, who's going to win this game?
Virginia High.
Okay.
Well, listen, I mean, it is what it is. It's nothing Coach Davis, Ronnie can do. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, when you get into this profession, it's going to happen to you.
Eventually.
To the best.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's going to happen to you, and you just have to keep grinding.
Now, I think a lot of times that perseverance and grinding is what helps your team overcome stuff like that.
That's right.
A lot of teams fold.
But I mean, again, you say that now. In the past, that's what happened.
Yeah.
But this day and time, they just I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only thing, and that's another pressure on a coach that you have to worry. You got to try to make everybody happy. You got to do this when the stuff's going like it's going. I mean, we've all been there, and it is what it is.
Virginia High minus 49.5. What do you think?
Richlands covers.
Okay, I think so too. I won't pick the game. All right. Up next, we got Marion 0-6 at Tazewell 3-3.
Tazewell with a bounce back.
I think so as well. Tazewell. Up next, we got NARS 3-2 at Honaker 3-3. I don't think NARS is quite the team they've been the past few years. I do think Honaker's got enough offense to make a difference.
Honaker's not either.
Well, that's true. That's true. They are playing.
I mean, they got the Music Brothers. They got, son, but I mean, it's a totally different Honaker team than I'm used to seeing. But like again, you coach long enough, that stuff happens. I mean, it is what it is.
Honaker. No wait. Go ahead. Yeah, that's right. 3-3. Honaker is 3-3.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I go with Honaker being at home.
Yeah, I think that's a huge advantage. All right, Chill High 3-3 at Rural Retreat 3-3. This is a big game. I think it'll be a good game.
Royal Retreat.
I'm going Rural
by
Retreat.
Double figures.
And minus 9.5 Rural Retreat. What do you think?
Oh yeah.
All right. J.I. Burton, 1-5, taking on or at George Wythe, 5-2. I think George Wythe runs the ball like crazy and at will. I'm going with George Wythe. What do you think?
George Wythe.
George Wythe. Up next, big game in Buchanan County, what some people will now call the BDD, the Buchanan County Championships on the line, at least if Grundy wins. You got Grundy 2-4 at Hurley, 1-5, Hurley plus 21.5. So who you got in that one? I'll go ahead and make my pick.
I think Grundy wins.
Yep.
They, like I said, it goes back. They have the two best backs in the region.
Yep.
Hurley lost a lot of kids from last year.
And Hurley's doing well to be sitting
That's
on
right.
that. I mean, competitive.
I'm talking 5 weeks ago, they wasn't thinking they was going to have a team.
Yep.
And now they're competing in all these games.
I'm with you as well. I think Grundy has the edge in the running game here. I'm going with them. What do you think about that plus 21.5? Hurley.
I don't know. That's a good one.
That's
a good
pretty
one.
good, isn't it?
I don't know.
Uh,
I probably wouldn't choose that game.
All right, Tom Walker at
I'd
Twin.
go up there and put more on Graham.
Yeah. Tom Walker at Twin Valley. Twin Valley sitting at 1-5. I'll pick this one since you can't. I think Twin Valley playing all these games in the last 8 or 9 days probably going to be a little bit tough to be able to handle Tom Walker. So I'm going to go with Tom Walker in this one. All right. And next we've got Twin Springs 3-3 at Eastside 5-1. I've got Twin Springs in this one, Coach. I mean Eastside. Excuse me, Lord mercy. What was I doing here?
Eastside.
Eastside. Eastside. All right. A couple of things about this week's games coming up. This is the first time Lebanon has been 7-0 since 2004. Graham, of course, 6-0, Lebanon 7-0, so this is the game that the spotlight's going to be on in Southwest Virginia. Lebanon is 1-18 all-time against Graham, but here's an interesting stat. The one time that they beat him was back in 1988 when I think Eric Buchanan was playing. Guess who scored Graham's only touchdown?
Old Patron.
Old Patron, that's right. Old Patron. So he probably
They wasn't a match for Eric Buchanan in that bunch.
No, that bunch was tough. Grundy,
He ran a kickback to beat Grundy that year.
Did he?
Yep.
Man, if it had you on that kickoff team, man, that wouldn't happen.
That's right.
Grundy with a chance to win a BDD if they get the win against Hurley. And Rye Cove, nod to them. It's the first time they've been 7-0 in school history. I think something, we was talking about Rye Cove's run game a minute ago. We didn't mention this fact. They held Eastside to 8 points, and Eastside had scored 20 points or more in every game they played. So that's pretty, not just their running game is pretty good, their defense is pretty stout as well. And unfortunately, Richlands has lost 18 consecutive games, but Blues keep their heads up, and good things are going to happen. Just got to get through this storm, as the old saying goes. And I know the community's behind them, and Coach Davis and companies are continuing to work just like they're starting the season, and treating every game like it's the most important game of the year.
The only thing about that, people, I mean, with the success Richlands had in the past, it's people outside of the community looks in like, oh, blah, blah, blah. People know. I mean, it is what it is.
Yep.
Keep grinding, Coach Davis.
That's right. All right. I don't have anything else. Do you?
I do not. Well, Dave Portnoy, breaking news, Dave Portnoy just introduced Miss Peaches to her brother, Pete the Beagle. Good job, Dave.
All right. Well, congratulations to Dave there. All right. And until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
Coach Krieger.
Reminding you that Krieger just got the results from his IQ test.
Thank God it was negative.
Good night, folks.
Audio Jungle.